All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and sports fans of all ages, it is now time for the Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that is Roy, and we are here for another fun episode. Roy, you got a little subject for us, do you?
This is one that if you were making a Frankenstein
Oh,
and we're going to do it twice, different times, but this one is with basketball. And I'm going to give you the five aspects. So
okay.
you have to write this down. Dribbling, height, physical abilities, shooting, mind for the game. But what I did do, I asked AI to come up with the perfect basketball player using those five attributes.
Okay.
So I want to see what you come up with and if we agree or disagree. And some of it, I kind of disagree too.
All
So
right.
give me one.
So I guess I'll go dribbling, handles. And when I think of handles, one of the first guys I think of is a guy who made a move that people had been doing for years, but he weaponized it and it became an unstoppable move, even at his height. And that was Allen Iverson. And that's the crossover. So I think for handles, I'm going AI for my handles.
Yeah, I kind of was the same. So when they put this person down, I wasn't, dribbling upset, but I was, same Iverson, same thing. They have here Steph Curry.
Hmm. I mean, I guess I can see what they're saying. I mean, he does have good handles. I'm not taking that away from him, but he's really moving without the ball so much. That's really his weapon. His constant movement. He plays like Reggie Miller, constantly moving, running off of triple screens, you know. So I don't think of him when I think that's not what I think of when I think of handles. If they
Yep,
would have said Kyrie,
I had him on my list.
that I could have understood. But yeah, I think Allen Iverson for me, um, even if you want to go old school, Tim Hardaway was also had crazy handles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Roy. So for height, what is your height that you are looking for?
Yeah, and I'm not, when I saw this, I wasn't disagreeing with them. But if I'm looking for the ultimate height, somebody could, I was thinking Shaq. Shaq's height.
Wow.
If you look at somebody who could, those guys, really very few guys at that height was as mobile and functional. Every time they get that high, they get awkward.
Yeah. No, I agree. And so if you can have the height of Shaq and great mobility, that's a dangerous weapon. I mean, I think that's what people are hoping that we get with Victor Wembanyama, and we got the height, a little bit of the height with guys like KD and but not the physical presence like Shaq. Um,
And
when
we're
I
just
think
talking,
of
remember, you're just talking about Shaq's height.
yeah, when I think of height, I'm gonna actually go LeBron. I think to me at 6'9", you can do. There's nothing you can do if that guy is skilled enough to stop him because he can, take you inside, take you outside. He can defend almost everybody, especially in today's game. So I would say 6'9" to me is like the perfect point where you'd be, because then you have so much versatility all around. What did the AI say?
Um, Giannis.
Okay, so it's like 6'10", 6'11".
Giannis,
Good
which
height.
I think is good height.
Yeah,
I think if I was going to be a basketball, I would want to be at least 6'10", 6'9", at least.
I could work at Walmart if I was 6'10". I'd be pretty happy just walking around. doing normal people stuff, jumping over carts and stuff.
Number
Um,
three, physical ability.
so physical ability. So now this is where I was considering Shaq because his physical nature, that would be nice to have. But I'm actually going to go Dwight Howard because he had the broad shoulders. He was strong. He was heavy enough and strong enough to bang back down there with the big boys. But when it came to physical athletic ability, I mean, he could jump out the gym as well, which you don't see with guys his size. So if I want physical ability, I'm gonna say Dwight.
Yeah, when he was coming in the Magic, he almost had the perfect physique. He wasn't big and bulky like Shaq, but he was his shoulders, man. He filled out. I would have to agree. I like that. I like that pick. I'm with you. I'm with you. So we talked AI. We agreed on that.
Yeah,
Then I said Shaq. You said
LeBron.
on, which LeBron's a good dribbling. If he had a good dribbling like AI, and he was that size, man, that'd be pretty good. And if he was, and he's thick as, but I think you see, you can't have that. You got to be careful with the size and having that type of thickness. See, that's why when I went bigger, taller, I could, take my frame can hold more.
Yeah,
But it's still good. I think it works. They put here LeBron for the physical. They were saying his size, speed, strength, endurance makes him the complete physical specimen. So
yeah,
they put LeBron. Can't agree. I disagree.
yeah. I mean, LeBron was made to play basketball. We could have literally checked all these marks down with LeBron and not been wrong. So you know, I agree that would be a good one. He has great physical attributes. I think it's what's made him um, taken him over guys who were more skilled at certain things when he first came in. Like Carmelo was a better shooter, better offensively, but he just didn't have the body, of LeBron.
Yeah.
All right, the
Shooter.
next one is shooter.
Shooter.
There's three guys that I'm thinking of right now. Um, there's Steph, of course. There's Reggie,
Mm.
and there's Ray Allen. To
I
me,
disagree with Ray Allen because you didn't say one that you should have said.
hmm, okay. Well, maybe is that. We'll see if that's your guy. To me, Ray Allen had the prettiest shot I've ever seen. Just in form, how it looks. Um, Steph does. The thing about Steph Curry is that you're not gonna teach anybody to shoot like that. Nobody shoots like that. No, he takes such bad shots that you just go, man, he's a great shooter, and because it goes in, we go, man, wow, that was a great shot. But when he lets it go, your first inclination is, no, don't do that. Um, but you got to go Steph. You got to go Steph. If you're going to have shooting, you might as well be able to shoot it from the parking lot. And so I'll go Steph Curry.
I kind of agree with you. I agree with you, Steph is good. Like you mentioned three. I think when these guys have the ball, you get scared.
Okay.
I think LeBron.
Really?
I think when you go, he's gonna make a lot of shots. I think when you say they got the ball, I don't care about nobody else. You know what I mean? If this is called 3 seconds, he's got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Yeah.
think also another one who I go, he's a pretty clutch shooter still that in our day. I think Durant is a clutch shooter. But the guy I have that I don't care any three of those is Larry Bird.
Yeah.
It's my pick.
What Larry has to me that Curry does have, but I think Larry has shown it more in big spots, is he is cold blooded. He is gonna shoot it. He doesn't care where the defense is. He's not doing all that work running around off the screen. I'm gonna shoot it right in your face. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do it. I told you before the game I was gonna do it. I told you during the timeout I was going to do it. When you were following me around and said, when I get this ball, I'm going to do it. And then he did it. And people were like, he just told you I was going to do that. So I can't disagree with Larry Bird. And I'm upset that I did not think of him. You're absolutely right.
They
Let's,
put Kevin Durant.
let's not, that's not a bad pick. I think that his size aids him in his shooting ability, um, which is why Curry is so impressive because he's a smaller guy. But I can't disagree with that. I do disagree with you when you said that LeBron should be on the list of shooters. I think how LeBron gets open a lot of times is because you're so scared of him blowing past you. And which is the reason that Giannis doesn't get open as much because all you're worried about with Giannis is him getting past you. You'd rather him take the shot, you know. So, but I can't disagree with Larry Bird. Uh, Basketball IQ is the next one, which is going to be a very interesting one um, because it's hard to measure. So it's really a preference thing of what you think about these guys. So who'd you go with?
Okay, and this is when I thought of this person. This is older person. He's played with multiple teams, but he's been a good floor general. Again, this is just me thinking.
Mm-hmm.
He's even been a coach recently, coach, commentator. And I said, man, he could never. And again, I have two guys who I think have good, but this one thing I'm a little bit more. You may agree with me, and I'm going to tell you the one first, but then I'm going to tell you the one who I'm picking.
Okay.
I both of these are point guards. Okay. And I just it just escaped me. He's a coach now for the 76ers.
Doc Rivers?
Doc Rivers. There he goes. I thought good. But my choice is Mark Jackson. I'm going to tell you Mark Jackson. I'm going to say Mark Jackson. That's my guy. I think he was a great, solid point guard.
When you started to talk and you started to describe the person, I said, he's going Mark Jackson. And I think that goes to your nature and the way you like basketball to be played. Because Mark was a real gritty player too. He wasn't all flash. He wasn't for his size. He was going to bump into you, get contact, fight for rebounds. So I think that's a good one as far as basketball IQ. I'm trying hard not to say Jordan, right? And I'm only doing that because sometimes when you're physically gifted like that, your basketball IQ doesn't have to be as high as everybody else's. So with that being said, I think basketball IQ is one of those things that I'm going to measure in what these guys have done and longevity. How long these guys played, this guy played, and really was able to transition his game through his whole career to be different things. And if I had his mentality in this body that we've created, I think it would be a real, real, real big problem. So the guy I'm going to go with, and I think he's on top of mind too, because he just decided to retire. He played a long time and got some championships, and his name is Andre Iguodala. That's the guy I'm choosing. And like I said, you for me, so let's think about his how he transformed through the years. He was a number one draft pick for the 76ers. Came in, played with Allen Iverson, was physical freak. He was jumping out the building when he was young. Transitioned his game, started to shoot more. went to eventually ended up on the Warriors, and he was a hustle guy. Played defense, was gritty. And in that first championship that they did, he was the MVP of the championship, not Kevin Durant. Why? Because he was all over that floor. He was scoring. He was playing defense. He was hustle. He was starting when guys were hurt, and he was coming off the bench when he had to, and his productivity was the same all around. And for me to be able to go through the ebbs and flows and change your game to just fit wherever you're at and just win, that's why I said his IQ was high. And because he's top of mind because he just retired.
Listen, I'm gonna have to think about that one, but I'm not saying he's not a great player. He played a role. He became. I kind of think of his career as he was a nail. Then he became kind of a washer. In the sense, hey, he fit where you need him. You know what I mean? Kind of game. And then at one point, he came not a washer where he just fit, but then he just played a role. Like, he was the perfect bolts. I'm like, he only fits at this stop, but he was consistent for years. So I'm not gonna take it away from you. They had Chris Paul.
Yeah. I know a lot of people always talk about his IQ. I don't know.
It
He's
was
not a bad.
AI did it.
Yeah, he's not a bad player. I don't know. I don't know about Chris Paul. I have so many mixed feelings about him. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. I saw an interview recently when it was the Pivot, and he did a long form interview. Thought he was great. Right after that, I saw another interview with him someplace, and I was like, what is he talking about? He's so self-serving. So yeah, Chris Paul it never comes to mind for me. I don't know why in any of the things. All right, guys. Well, so our little Frankensteins, I think, can compete with anybody, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, and again, there's a lot that we missed. Shooters, guy I loved, guy who I would want on my team, T-Mac. You know what I mean?
Mm, I
Deadly,
love tonight.
talented dude. So again, we could go on and on and on, but again, we only have so much time for so much show. We appreciate everyone watching. Again, we want some more subscribers. Please subscribe. We want you to comment more than anything. Tell us, if you were to create the best Frankenstein, who would you put in your top 5? You pick them. We may disagree. We may agree. But John, there's only one thing everybody should do.
Hey, talk to a stranger about sports today.